The following is a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio.
Good morning. Welcome back to another Kurre and Klapow here, live from Vulcan Park. I want to thank the fine folks from Vulcan for having us up every Thursday morning here as we get after it, talk about a bunch of different things. We'll be on Fox 6 a little bit later on this morning, 9:35, with Janice Rogers and Mike Dubberly talking about
Thanksgiving survival.
Yes.
I have my favorite. Oh, I can't wait. I always give my favorite survival tip. I have many of them, but I have one. It's just mine. Don't use it. I can't tell you because you might use it first because you always talk.
I won't. I got my own.
Okay. Mine is, what's your escape route?
Yeah.
Where's your escape plan before you ever go to Thanksgiving, including if people are coming to your place? It doesn't matter. You must have it. You can either have it written down or right here. And actually, now I think about it, you should have some contingency plans within the escape plan. Escape plan A, you know, they say when you're in an emergency, how am I going to get out? I can get out this way. The exit may be behind you. I say at least 3 different
Now, what are we
ways.
talking about? We're talking about bringing up topics and things that make us feel uncomfortable. Politics, sex, and religion is the things we're supposed to talk about.
Yeah, that, or you're like, you have a relative who's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And they're just irritating the crap out of you. Or you've been sitting there, we've talked about this, you're sitting there, you've been there for like 4 hours or 5 hours.
Yeah.
And there's just people are just eating and watching football. And in theory, it sounds great. And it is great for, like, I don't know, 90 minutes? 2 hours?
That's why football's so good on Thanksgiving.
Well, no, it is. It is.
Because we know the women that go into the kitchen and they'll go in there and cook and gossip, and the guys sit in front of the TV and drink and don't say a word for 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. Which is why we get along better.
It is. If you can go there.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of times like, hey, you're not being part of the group.
See, now it depends on, because every family dynamic is different.
Absolutely, I totally agree.
Maybe it's just the inner family, and you know what to expect every year, and it's the only time you see each other every year.
It's wonderful.
And everyone kind of goes off on their own. Because we in my family, we have a group that goes outside.
Yes,
we have a group that watches TV. We have a group that talks in the kitchen and drinks wine. And so everyone's kind of got their own little thing.
But it's not always that way. And the dinner table is the most critical place. It's where things can either sort of hang on or they can completely get derailed. And it's usually because you spend 20 minutes at the dinner table, like just snarf your food and move to your separate corners is good. It's when you linger at the table. Because the longer you linger, the greater the chance that somebody is going to say something that doesn't even have to be over the top.
We call it the post dinner conversation. There's always 2 or 3 people that don't get up from the table.
You're right. Which is,
while everyone else is cleaning up dishes and stuff, there's always 2 or 3 people that are sitting at the table that want to start some type of discussion before we start playing cards and having pumpkin pie. And that's when I get up and move.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and it doesn't have to be. See, I think that there's the obvious stuff: differences in politics, differences in worldviews, religions. You know, that cousin or sister or brother who you thought this way, and you haven't seen them in a year, and you're like, what the hell happened to you? There's those. Those are kind of obvious. You see them coming, and for me, when you see those coming, if you choose to engage, fine, good luck.
Yeah.
It's the subtle ones. It's the nuances. It's, oh, Catherine's going to the Ivy League. How's Billy doing? What's he doing? Oh, he's staying in school? Staying at home? Oh, okay. And it's like in those moments where you feel that, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? If I'm sitting there, if I was your psychologist, I'm like, right behind you, what are you going to do?
No.
You got a choice point right now. And that's when you need your escape route.
You have your escape route, yeah. And
I'm going to go get coffee. I'm going to watch the football game.
Well, and that's what you do.
But it's hard. Because they're attacking your kid, but kind of not really.
See, in my family, we never had. Well, we have a bunch of differences, and I can think of a couple of people in my family that are tell it like it is, right?
Yeah.
They
shoot straight.
They
just
shoot straight. They tell it like it is, and no matter how bad it gets, we're going to leave this table, and we're all going to give each other a hug, and we're going to see each other next year. But but we all, yeah. I mean, it's just okay to get up and walk away from a situation like that. I like to keep moving. I don't ever stay in one place too long.
No, I've watched you in social settings.
So I get in, I dab a little bit.
Yep.
I may even throw a stink bomb in there and then walk out. I'll throw a ham sandwich into a room full of fat people and watch them scarf it after it.
You can't use the word fat.
But I like to move around, and if
that's smart.
If I'm moving around, then if I get into a situation where like, what are we all talking about? Then I probably don't need to know, and I'll just get up one.
Well, see, and that's really smart because the movement decreases the chance.
That's going to be mine, by the way. Just keep moving around.
Right.
Keep moving.
Even in a small house.
Yes.
Well, you might have to move.
Go outside.
Right.
Take a leak. Go make another drink. If you got kids, you can always use them as a buffer. If you've got a wife or a husband, I need to talk to you for a minute. Just separate yourself.
Oh, we have our whole.
Yeah.
Jules and I have the whole like when it's time to leave thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like when I look at you, we're out.
Yeah.
And then we actually have an agreed upon. We have to stay at least this long.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, it's whoever needs to tap out first.
Yeah.
Then we go.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, the other thing is when you're visiting family from out of town.
You're visiting?
Yes.
Oh, you're screwed.
And
because you can't. What are you
get a hotel room?
Oh, you mean compared to staying there?
Yes.
Oh,
they're going to say, well,
it doesn't matter how.
You need to have
absolutely. We need to say that. No matter how cheap that hotel has to be,
if it takes quarters in the bed,
you got to pitch a tent in a parking lot. No matter and okay, so here's the other thing, because I've seen obviously if the house is not that big, it's an easy we appreciate it, but I've got some relatives who got like a big house, and there's like a wing. You could just go, please, it's the entire wing, it's yours, and I'm like, no, because I don't want to infringe. But it's but for my personal is I need to be psychologically distant from you after I've spent 4 hours. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you talk to me or I'm on your wing or not. Just knowing I'm in your house makes me.
And depending on whether you have kids,
right,
in different times when they need to go down, this, that, and the other.
Oh, that's the whole thing.
The other thing that I always did, and I felt comfortable enough with my own family to do this, I have my own routine.
Yeah.
And so I go to bed at 9 o'clock.
Right.
And so when I get tired, I'm like, oh, come on, we're going to go out and play ping pong out in the barn, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I'm
smart.
like, listen, this is my regimen. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
That's
I have an
smart.
early day. Our kids got their own regimen. We have our own routine. We're here to have a great time. But when I shut it down, I shut it down.
See, but
that's another escape route to go to bed.
But that's a boundary thing that it's healthy.
Yeah.
Like that's healthy. People, this is the whole holiday thing. It's everybody stretches their, we're out of our routine, and we have to decide how far are we going to stretch.
Yeah.
Nobody likes the person who says, I'm sorry, I can't eat. Well, actually, I'm that person. The whole Thanksgiving, like families who have like dinner at 3.
Yeah.
What the F is that? That is not dinner. It is not lunch. And it is not dinner. This is where my rigidity comes in.
Yeah.
We're either having Thanksgiving lunch, which I don't like, or we're going to have Thanksgiving dinner. If we're going to have lunch, it's going to be noon-ish.
Yeah.
We're going to have dinner, it's going to be 5-ish. 3 to 4 is nothing.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
But snacks.
But I don't like it.
It's pigs in a blanket time. We call it pigs in a blanket time.
That's even that.
Kids, yeah.
No.
You have to have food all day.
Well, it can be out all day, but I don't want to sit down at 3 o'clock for whatever that is. Because then the other problem is, then you're done. Then what do? You want football?
Yeah. Go play ping pong out in the barn till.
See, I got made. Well, it's not made, but my family. I'm in this weird family situation now because I got one kid in England.
Yeah.
I got one kid living with me, and they're adults.
Yeah.
We don't have any other. Extended family is far away. So Thanksgiving's me, Jules, and Adair. Mm-hmm. It's weird.
Yeah. It's good.
And then you know what happens?
You don't eat the 20-pound turkey.
No, I don't get it. That's my favorite. That's my favorite meal of the year.
I know.
Or not of the year. The dying meal. I'm gonna have a big steak. Not me. Thanksgiving spread.
No.
No rolls.
No rolls.
No rolls. Rolls are filler.
All right, we'll talk about that on Fox 6. We'll get into that. Also, a very interesting story you brought up, kind of serious, about Lane Kiffin.
Lane.
The University of Ole Miss. Ole Miss is being sued for $40 million as part of lawsuit from DeSanto Rollins, who is a player that evidently is having some mental
health problems.
Mental health, yeah. And basically, well, tell him the story, because I mean...
So, DeSanto Rollins had undisclosed mental health problems, and he took 2 weeks off.
Scholarship player for Ole Miss.
Right, took 2 weeks off. I would consider it, and my understanding is it's essentially like a medical leave, which college students can do. I mean, you could have, I don't know, you can have pancreatitis, you can have depression.
Yeah.
But what Coach Kiffin got mad about was that there wasn't communication between Rollins and him.
Oh.
Lane Kiffin asked multiple times, I need you to come meet with me.
And he never did.
He never did. There is some question, and I don't know this, but there's some question about, a lot of times on college campuses, particularly with athletes, they'll have what's called a medical or a mental health liaison.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you went to counseling, you're not well,
yeah.
And there's somebody who's supposed to essentially report, hey, look, coach, they're out on mental health leave, they're getting treatment, they're okay. It is unclear whether that liaison told Coach Kiffin and Coach Kiffin didn't find that okay, or that liaison never told Kiffin.
Yeah.
But he tried to reach out to Rollins multiple times and never showed. And then they had the interaction, which got taped, and
unbeknownst to Lane Kiffin.
Which
obviously
that's not right.
It's not illegal, but it's not
right at all.
A good look.
And his points. This is what I say. The content that he put out there.
And by the way, the original story Darren Ravel wrote out was paraphrased.
Right.
Did not have the entire.
It just had the.
Basically made Lane Kiffin look like he was an uncompassionate piece of shit.
Right.
And not empathetic at all towards his mental disability or whatever it was.
Right.
And when you listen to the entire thing, it certainly sounds like he did the best he could to understand the situation he was in. He basically analogized it like, listen, if you're working in this world of ours, and all of a sudden your boss keeps asking you, hey, listen, you need to come in and talk to me and let me know what the hell's going on, and you don't do that, you're going to get fired for it.
Which is,
by the way, the player's still on scholarship. He's still on the team.
Again, and this was my point. What he was trying to convey was great.
Yeah.
But when you go on an F-bomb tirade, and if you listen to it and read the transcript...
No, and you need to listen to it. You can read the transcript, but you need to listen to it.
Right.
Because it always sounds different when you listen to it.
And listen to it. He's going on and on and on.
Yeah.
And even though he's saying, in the real world, I need you to come talk to me, blah, 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 he is so agitated that he loses credibility. And this is what I said to you. I work with coaches, I work with leaders all the time. You getting mad and expressing it that way, you lose your credibility, particularly even in the locker room. He just kept going off. And here's the other thing, frankly, just from a communication standpoint, Lane, you repeated yourself 17,000 times.
Yeah.
You said in 3.5 minutes, what you could have said in 30 seconds, and then got quiet and said to him, what do you think?
Agree.
But that's the point. And again, so my frustration that you hear in me is, Lane, you had an opportunity to say what you needed to say the right way. You just didn't say it the right way.
You're right.
That's all.
Ultimately, I think he was compassionate enough, and he did understand the situation. He said, I'm not saying you're faking it. I'm not saying any of those things. So he said all the right things as far as if you're looking at the lawsuit aspect of it.
Yeah, from a lawsuit, absolutely.
He did all the right things. Did he do it the right way? No.
No.
Did he say the right things in so much 17 times? Yes.
But it matters. It matters for a couple reasons. One, particularly if this kid is depressed or has an anxiety or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's not the way you needed to hear it.
He's not well. Yeah. I mean, that's like the equivalent of saying, I don't know, you got type 1 diabetes, and you just go on a rant about your type 1 diabetes. You don't do that. This is not about babying. This is not about, and the message about the real world thing was great. But when you lose your shit, when you lose it in the locker room, in the boardroom, with your spouse, with your kids, you lose your credibility because you look like a crazy person.
Yeah.
And that's the part that my frustration, frankly, is twofold. It's for Lane, because you had a great opportunity and you said the right things, you just locked it. And having had grad students who've done this, it's for Rollins, it's more of the parental, look, you did need to let coach know. And even, I'll go one step further. Let's say you weren't comfortable meeting with coach. Just whatever, you're in a bad, dark place.
Yep.
At least communicate with him.
Yeah.
You can't ghost him. That's the part that that was not.
That's true. I agree with everything you got. I can't debate you on any of it.
Find something.
Yeah, but
it's locker room.
Particularly somebody.
You know who that is? Oh my God.
Particularly if you're talking about someone who's going through some type of mental deficiency or disability or health issue, the last thing you need to hear is,
yeah, you piece of shit.
What, you piece of shit? What the hell? What the F is wrong with you? You can't have to do this.
God, I mean,
that's not going to help the cause. Something stinks about this whole situation. The fact there's a $40 million lawsuit.
Yeah, that part.
With this whole thing's just reached.
I hope.
I'm siding with Lane Kiffin on this, but this could be a learning moment, or should be a teaching moment for Lane Kiffin. He's a head. Well, he needs to. And, hopefully he'll see this. And sometimes when you go off on a rant, and, I'm not a rant kind of guy.
No.
I associate it or analogize it with a comedian who constantly drops F-bombs.
Yeah, right. That's
Sam Kinison, was funny, but after a while, it was the same shtick over and over and over again, and it got to the point. But when you have a comedian that does not use that type of language, and then all of a sudden uses it occasionally, it really has an impact.
Oh, absolutely.
Much like, Nick Saban when he's on Hey Coach and drops the S word or whatever.
That's
People
it.
are like, yeah!
That's exactly.
Because you're not used to hearing that type of language. But when it's just over and over and over again, that's what that's.
Well, and here, listen, just from a psychological standpoint, when you hear anybody repeating themselves in their sort of scolding of you.
Yeah.
Parents do this all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You say it 17 times, and you didn't clean your room, and you effing didn't clean your room, and you didn't clean your room, and you're not responsible. At some point, particularly if your child is like over 12,
no,
they've totally tuned you out,
oh, yeah.
A. B, again, Lane, you look like the idiot.
Yeah.
Even though you were right, you look like the idiot because you didn't shut up.
Yeah.
I was listening to it, the whole thing, and I'm like, that was great. Shut up.
Shut up, yeah.
That was great. Stop.
Yeah.
Even if you just pause and then pick up again.
Yeah.
But he didn't. That was frustrating.
No, he was wearing his ass out.
He
made his point, and there's nothing better when you make a point in a really short period of time.
Could you see Nick? I could see Nick Saban doing that. I could see Nick Saban going on.
First of all, the case would have just been dead in the water if he had said, "Listen, here's how the real world works.
Yes.
You need to keep in touch with me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you're going through this, and we'll get you all the help you need.
Yep.
But you can't do this in the real world. If you have a boss, you're fired for it. Blah 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 blah, and then stop, and then let it go. And that would have been perfect. But I always try to remember, because I work with guys that obviously were in locker rooms, and I realize it's a different locker room etiquette.
I get it. I'm not just.
That's why it's really hard to mic up players during football games in the National Football League, because there's so many F-bombs and something the other, because there's all this testosterone and all this. And again, I don't know what kind of day Kiffin was having. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It doesn't matter the situation he was in. Doesn't matter what situation he's going into.
Right.
And what I think ended up probably happening is he was chasing the chicken in the backyard, and he finally caught it.
Yep.
If you've ever had chickens.
Nope.
Or a dog.
Yep.
Or you're a police officer and you're running after someone in the field.
Yep.
What usually happens? The nightstick comes out and you lose your shit and you beat the hell out of them.
But you're paid to not do that.
So after 2 or 3 weeks of not hearing from this player and going, what the hell's going on? I'm the coach. And you're scholarshiped here. We're giving you a place and we're giving you everything you need. And all of a sudden you're in my office. I'm gonna wear your ass out. And that's what he did. And that's not the way. And again, easier said than done, probably for a guy like Lane Kiffin.
But
and it's funny because this stuff came out right before the Georgia game, which was the biggest game of the year for them, and obviously they got their ass beat.
Yep.
So there was a lot on the line there. So he was probably going through a hell of a week getting ready for Georgia as well. So
guess what, Lane? How much does he get paid, you think? What's his?
It's $6-7 million a year.
That's it?
Yeah, I think it's about $6-7 million.
Kirby's buyout was $76 million.
Jimbo Fisher.
Oh, Jimbo Fisher, I'm sorry.
$77 million.
Man.
Yeah.
If you get paid that much, and this is the other thing, we've talked about this on other shows, you're in this amazing position of power. Mm-hmm. You get to say whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
You get to do you get to do that. But by definition, if you're getting paid that much, you should be better than that.
I agree.
You should be better than that.
I agree.
I don't care if you use an F-bomb or not. It's not that.
Hopefully a learning moment, because most times when people go off and they start cussing, they don't ever get a chance to hear themselves.
That's true.
When's the last time you went off? Could you imagine listening to yourself go off? I mean,
yeah.
Because you go back and go, wow. That's when you go back in and
that
say, honey, I said some things
yep.
I didn't mean to say, and I really apologize.
That's a really good point.
To have it recorded and to go back and, because I can guarantee you Lane Kiffin has actually hurt himself. Hopefully this has been a teaching moment for him.
Yeah.
He's not too old to learn.
No. Right.
He's even as a head coach.
Well, and this is,
what would Nick Saban do?
You're right. This is, I'm really mad at you because I was worried about you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he was, but you see that with your kids. You're screaming.
It would have been great at the end if he had said, listen, man, I love you.
Right.
And I want to see what's best for you.
I was actually even hoping that. Go on the entire tirade and then
totally flip it.
And just finish it up the right way.
What can I do for you? And I'm sorry you're going through this. This is very difficult, and I'm glad we're finally sitting together and we're talking about this. But what can I do for you? I love you as a player. I recruited you. I brought you here, and I want to see what's best for you. And we're here to give you all the resources you need.
Lane Kiffin doesn't talk that way.
Now let's go kick some Georgia ass.
Lane Kiffin doesn't talk that way.
No, he doesn't, but he should. And it's something. Listen, Lane Kiffin's young.
Yes, right.
He's not Nick Saban. He's not 70 years old. He's not a Kirby Smart. He hasn't been coaching as long as a lot of people have.
if I had Lane, if Lane was one of my clients, all I would say is...
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If you're DeSanto Rollins' teammate, and you've heard that, what do you think? Are you like, oh, that's a sold hat? Or, man, I'm not going to screw up now. Or I better be on time for practice next week.
Oh,
do you learn anything from it as a player? Or is this...
No.
I can guarantee these players have heard it, have seen it. Maybe they haven't had it specifically personal to them.
Yeah. But that's the thing. If Lane's like that a lot,
yeah,
that's the problem. It's like it's what you just said. If you got a coach or a boss or a whoever or a parent who's constantly going off.
Yeah. And I don't know if Lane Kiffin's like that.
Oh, I don't know.
I have not. I've heard him go off before, but not to that extent.
Right.
I've seen him speak on national television many times, and he is very calculating. I think because he is a disciple of Nick Saban, we think that he's going to use all those coaching, using the process, blah, 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 blah. And I think he's learned a lot of that from Nick Saban.
That's right.
But he's still his own coach.
He sounded to me... He sounded to me... Yeah, no, not that. But he sounded to me like... Because, again, this is one of the scholarship players. It was stressing him out. It's an important issue. Not the mental health part. It's like, where is he? What's going on? I don't know. We've got a big game. You know, there's all this other thing, and you're right. And then he decides to walk in. And I told you, I've had graduate students who just go MIA. Yeah. And we got a grant due. We got something. I'm trying to reach out to them. I can't find them.
How'd you deal with it?
Huh?
How'd you deal with it?
Well, two things. I did not go on rant on F-bombs to them. I was frustrated. I was pissed off. I did not know that in both these cases there were, A, for one of them, it was a mental health problem, and B, the other one was going through a divorce. And when I found out, I was very clear. Number one, don't go, and I said, why don't you, like Lane, why don't you just tell me?
Yeah.
Or at least tell me that you're not going to be here. Like, that's not right. I'm like, well, I was upset. I was in a bad place. And I said essentially something, no excuse. You work for me. All you need to do, even if you didn't want to tell me specifically what's going on, you needed to say to me, I need to take a leave. I'm not in I've got things I need to do, and I'm out. Because what that says to me, or a coach, or a boss, is that then I can't count on you for however much time. Yeah. This is why we have, listen, in corporations, this is why we have disability leave. This is why we have HR departments. There are processes for this. And what I don't know and what may have happened is those processes weren't followed on either side. Because here's the other thing, to be honest with you, and this is just a little bit of a ding on Lane. He's a coach at Ole Miss. He could have found out, like even if the player sort of went MIA, wasn't talking, he could have found out. So that's the part to me that I don't.
He could have asked some of his roommates, teammates.
He could have asked
his coaches,
the athletic department. He could have asked the campus. He could have asked any of the.
If he was actually getting help, he could have found out that way.
Any of that, and that's the part to me that just again.
That's what stinks about this whole story because, and again.
Yep.
God love him if he's going through some mental disabilities or some mental issues. And dark place, I get that. But somebody's got to know.
Well, and listen.
He could have reached out to his parents.
Here's the other thing. And this does happen. It happens with players a lot. They are young. Okay, so that puts them in that college student, 19, 20, maybe the first time he's ever had a problem like this, maybe in a super dark place, maybe super scared. And kids, much to Lane's point, okay, so that's number one. And then two, with the sports thing, this is where the mental health issue becomes a big issue. This is why people like Rachel Barbeau are doing what they're doing, is it's one thing to say I got pancreatitis.
Yeah.
I got hospitalized for diverticulitis. Yeah. It's another thing to say, I got this, I'm scared.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening to me.
And I'm not supposed to be scared because I'm a football player.
Athlete.
Yeah.
That's the part with the mental health piece. It's the symptoms are horrible, but you can't just say my elbow hurts.
Yeah.
And so I think that only adds to the ghosting
Think of Kevin Love. Think about Simone Biles.
Yes.
Think about all these athletes at the highest levels, and you're like, and unless you've been through it and understand it, you don't get it.
On Simone Biles.
Oh, no.
Then she came back and she got two moves named after her.
Yeah, what's strange is it normally happens when you're not performing at the level you're supposed to.
Right.
Simone Biles wasn't doing that in the Olympics, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, she's using that as an excuse because she's not performing at a high level, which is ridiculous. And it happened with Kevin Love, it happened with everyone else. There's a reason why they're not performing at that level because they're not there. They're not in the present. They can't.
Right.
And so it's kind of like, it's like the pitcher who gives up 6 runs in the first inning, and all of a sudden he realizes he has a hangnail. Oh, you had a hangnail. Well, that's why you give the 6. No, I mean, it's a reason for that. All right, we'll talk about Fox 6, yes.
Yeah, we got to go.
Yeah, we got to get going. We're going to be on Fox 6 at 9:35 this morning. We'll talk about Josh's escape route and me just leaving the room. Keep moving. Hover. Don't ever sit down. During Thanksgiving, don't sit down for about 17 hours and you're going to be fine. Just keep moving around the room. Jellyfish.
That would be weird.
Float around.
Then people think something's wrong with you.
Yeah. Or, eat a big meal and take a nap and sleep through it.
Yeah.
Or
pretend you're sleeping.
Or if you've got a good body there, go poop.
No, that's a whole.
People leave you alone when you go poop.
No, but you can't poop in someone else's house like that.
Well, sure you can.
No, you can't.
Oh yeah, you go to the back bathroom. Yeah.
What if they only have one bathroom?
And then
you got to find the bathroom, and do you? Oh, this is
lock the door.
This is a whole.
Take your phone in there.
Do you go in the master bedroom?
Yeah. You use the master bedroom.
Only if they say it's okay.
Yeah. Well, if you're at someone's house, you're in someone's house, then the house is open, unless you say this is my den.
What if the door's closed? The master bedroom.
No, the master bedroom door is always closed, but you're like, hey, can I use the bathroom? And then they'll say first door on the right, or say, hey, listen, it's going to be 6 or 7 hours because I'm getting out of this. Can I go back to the bedroom? Yeah, if it's your brother or sister or something like that, or a family member, yeah, you should be good.
You need to ask though before you go to the master bedroom.
Yeah,
I feel like that's
so you do the turkey the whole 9 yards.
Well, not anymore. I'm so depressed.
I'm trying to figure out what because my kids don't eat. They like turkey.
Yeah, I know.
But they want turkey, and they're like, we want a real Thanksgiving this year because they haven't had a real. They want me to cook a turkey.
Oh, you don't have to.
No, that's what they want.
No, I know, but you don't have to. You can drop cash. Whole Foods, do the whole thing. It's not even that expensive.
Whole Foods?
Yeah, Whole Foods. The entire stuffing, everything, and it's really. I'm serious. I know that sounds bougie, but I looked. You get and it feeds 4, and you get mashed potatoes, green beans, stuffing, gravy, cranberries,
Oh, I'm in, dude.
and a turkey for like, I don't know, I think it's $99.
Whole Foods?
Yeah,
I'm in.
I know. That's what I'm doing. I'm getting it for myself.
And then you put it in the oven and make it look like you're cooking
Yeah,
yourself.
that's what I'm saying. Your kids are young enough.
That's good.
Your kids are young enough.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah,
See?
because they don't do leftovers. I do leftovers.
Oh, I do leftovers.
I love.
I eat that damn turkey until I'm
Miracle
taking
Whip
the bone,
sandwiches. Oh,
I'm sucking on the bone, and then using it as a toothpick, and then. No, but there is a. Oh man, that's another thing. We got to go. That's a whole other.
You pumpkin pie or pecan?
Hate pumpkin pie.
Really? It's got to have a lot of whipped cream on it.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot of whipped cream, like half and half.
Yeah, because then it's
cream.
just whipped. I like the whipped cream. I like pecan pie.
Yeah. Pecan pie.
Pecan pie.
Pecan pie.
I love the turkey though. Turkey and cranberry. If I'm on the deathbed, if I get some terrible illness,
Yeah.
and I'm on my deathbed and I forget this, please remember for my last meal I need you to bring me turkey
do
and
it.
stuffing.
You got it.
Even if we got to put it in the NG tube.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, check us out on Fox 6. Hey, also don't forget, I got another TV show with Kip Keefer called The Starting Lineup. It's on every Saturday morning. We're 12-3-1 on our last 16 picks on that show. If you've been watching that show, you've been making some serious jack. It's called The Starting Lineup on ABC 3340, 10:30 to 11 o'clock every Saturday morning. Check us out this week. Southern Precision Staffing, one of our great sponsors, is going to be on the show.
Nice.
We'll be picking some ball games, so we're looking forward to that. And we're going to be actually recording that show on Monday of next week because it is Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving a week from today. So enjoy your blessed day. Are we doing it? We're not doing a show next Thursday.
Yeah.
We'll be off next Thursday. Maybe next Wednesday. You want to do Wednesday morning?
We could.
Kurre and Klapow on Wednesday morning?
Maybe.
Come on, let's do it.
I gotta look at my client schedule.
Oh,
sorry.
Your clients, no one gets sick on Thanksgiving, do
It's
they?
not sick. I'm
Or
a
they-
psychologist.
They don't need psychologists on.
I'm a coach. I'm not even a psychologist. They need coaching because all their employees everybody's gone early in the day.
I hear you. Watch us on Fox 6 coming up here in a few minutes. Thanks for watching.
This has been a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio.